All right, welcome back to another episode of Inspired by True Events Sports Podcast. Here we got the NBA talk going here. We got my boy Kenny, Phil, and Nil. We are back and we feel good. NBA season is just starting.
Love it.
There's a lot of nonsense going on, a lot of excuses for the Clippers. But we're gonna get on that.
No excuses here.
No excuses.
No excuses here.
KD getting dunked on.
Oh, that's true.
John Morant it might be out for a while. So, what we got over there for the pick'ems, man?
Oh, fantasy.
Fantasy. We're going fantasy first.
Yeah.
Just
All right,
quick,
so
little
fantasy.
recap.
All right, bet.
So, as you know, on the podcast, we got a fantasy basketball league, the IBTE league, hosted by yours truly here, us four. Just a quick recap on last week's matchups. We have Mob Squad, Neil's team. We played Kenny's team, Zoes and Hoes. Mob Squad pulled it out 6-5. We play 11 categories, so 6-5. Mob Squad pulled it out in the last hour, just like Kenny said.
The last game.
Last game. I beat him by 1 steal. I had 31 steals to his 30. So that sealed that one cat for me. We got other matchups in the league. We have New Jersey Nets, my boy Owen, lost down 8-2 to my friend Duke, who's also co-owning the team with Nick LaBella. We got Luca and the boys, 8-3 against WLR.
That's Denville, WLR.
Denville's team, who drafted Trae Young with the first pick in the draft. Our number one first, this is so rare. We got our first ever 11-0 of the year so far, the first week. My son, Baller Central, that's Phil, 11-0'd Harden's dietitian. That's my boy James.
Harden's dietitian. That's a funny ass name.
Yeah, 11-0. That means Phil won all 11 categories.
Wow.
All
Pure
11.
dominance.
We might not see that again for the rest of the year, and Phil did it in week 1.
It's so hard to do that because turnovers, usually if you're winning all the other categories, you're losing turnovers because that means your team's balling out and they're usually turning the ball over. Baller Central. Phil, 11-0. Congrats. That's amazing. He's in first place in the league, obviously, with 11 wins and 0 losses. Hooper's Rehab, my boy Nigel, our boy Nigel, friend of the podcast.
Yep.
Beat Knicks 2021 champs. Obviously, with a name like that, you're going to lose 6-5. That's my boy Connor Cole, another friend of the podcast for sure. And then Lawrence, the rookie of the year, Lawrence, beating our boy Lewis 7-4. Lawrence doesn't even know how to play fantasy basketball, coming out here with a nice 7-4 Vic.
He's taking fantasy basketball week by week. He got this.
So we got for our current standings, we're
that's see what I'm saying? It matters. You see what I'm saying? Shit that I say makes sense week by week. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but we're gonna take it week by week.
3 days into week 2, our current standings, we got Phil at first place. We got Duke, second place. Luca and the boys, third place. Grim Reapers, fourth place. Mob Squad, fifth place. Nigel, Hooper's Rehab, sixth. Zoes and Hoes, seventh place. We got Knicks 2021 champs, 8. Lewis, 9. WLR, Denville, 10. New Jersey Nets, our boy Owen, he watches every podcast, 11th. And Harden's dietitian, obviously going to be dead last. 0 wins, 11 losses on that first week. Crazy. It's crazy.
It's rough out there. Oh man, I'm just happy to be middle of the pack, man. So, you feel me?
6 teams make playoffs. We got a long way to go, though, fellas. A long way.
82.
Are
they doing the full? Yeah, I was
I
going
don't
to say.
think they're not doing 82.
I think it's 72, isn't it?
They cut it. They cut 10 games out of it.
Okay.
Because they started 2 months past.
So shit, every game doesn't matter then.
Not really every game, but right around All-Star break. After that, it'll probably be every game.
Well, but the All-Star break is much later this year too. It's in March.
Ooh.
Right. So that's why every game from that point on will matter. Yeah.
Okay. So starting off, we got up next we got the pick'ems, which is basically what we decided to do was we're gonna pick 5 games from today all the way to next week. So our top 5 games this week will be Cleveland versus Indiana, Atlanta versus Brooklyn, Dallas versus Houston, Minnesota versus Denver, and Boston versus Miami. We're going to start off with Cleveland versus Indiana.
Do we have a recap of pick'ems from last week?
Oh, no, we just went from.
Because we picked most of the Christmas Day games. I don't know if we had a recap of that or not.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start first. Cleveland. Man, Cleveland's got those two guards, some two young bulls. They're hooping right now.
Did you see
Hear
what
their nickname is?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I saw that on Instagram. I said, "Oh no,
It's not a bad nickname.
no."
I think that's what Larry Nance gave him.
Yeah, Larry Nance gave him that nickname. Yeah, he said on Twitter, I believe, or Instagram, one of the two. Yeah. So I don't know. They got those two. Larry Nance is playing well. Kevin Love's on IR for 5 to 6 weeks, and Andre Drummond is still just hooping. No matter where you put that man, he's just gonna hoop. I don't think they're good enough to beat Indiana, so I'll go Indiana here. I'll go Indiana by like 4 or 5, maybe 6 points here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Neil. Same thing. I think Cleveland is moving in the right direction. I just think that Indiana is they're more equipped to win this game, so I'm gonna go with Indiana. I like Sabonis. I like a healthy Oladipo. I think that they're good enough to win this game.
I'm gonna go with whatever Vegas says. At this point, yeah, and it's probably, I'm guessing, the Pacers.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Pacers.
Gotcha. Well, for this matchup, it's basically going to be the battle of the backcourts. You got Garland and we got Sexland versus
Sexland.
Same thing. We got
that's the nickname. In case anybody didn't know it, that's their nickname.
Right.
Yeah.
We got we got Sexland versus Brogdon and Oladipo. That's pretty much going to be the spotlight of the whole game. If you ask me which duo would I choose, I'd probably choose Indiana's duo because they're more versatile and they have more time together. So I'm going to go with Indiana by maybe 8 or 9. It'll be a decently competitive game since Cleveland's been stepping up in this upcoming season. This is like 3-1, so they're surprising a lot of people this season.
The backcourt in that not bad either. You got Miles Turner and Sabonis against Andre Drummond, and if Kevin Love was healthy, he'd be there. But the backcourt's not bad either for that game. So it's the good matchups all around for both those teams.
Yep. Then up next we got Atlanta versus Brooklyn. Who we got in that one?
I'm going with KD in them for sure.
Especially
if KD is
Lawrence.
What's Vegas say?
Yeah,
Vegas.
I know what Lawrence says. What's Vegas say?
Brooklyn. Listen, they're unstoppable. Like, I mean, we always knew KD was, but like Kyrie is playing out of his mind too. Like, I mean, we always knew Kyrie's great, but like he is playing at a different level.
Also, tough loss. They have Spencer Dinwiddie out for the rest of the season with the partially torn ACL.
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, that definitely hurts.
But
definitely helps my Caris LeVert 6th Man of the Year pick though.
Yeah, Caris LeVert has been looking.
I chose Dinwiddie to win 6th Man of the Year.
Yeah, well, there goes that.
Yeah, Brooklyn is favored by 7 points.
They might win by 17.
I mean, we say Brooklyn's unstoppable and all that, but they have not won the last 2 games. They lost the last 2 games. So,
well, I didn't say they were unstoppable. I said it's going to take some time for them to get to that point. But they also had those 2 games where they absolutely went ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they're not 100% gelled yet and they look that good, like that's, it's gonna be tough. And I mean, I like the Hawks. I don't think they're ready to beat a team like Brooklyn yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll go. Obviously, I'm a Nets fan, so I'm gonna go Brooklyn. I'll go Brooklyn by probably 10. So let's go Brooklyn. Let's go KD. Let's go Kyrie.
It's not like a hype man and shit.
Let's go.
Oh man, what we got next?
Phil, who you got?
Oh,
I want Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah. I'm probably gonna go Brooklyn as well. I mean, it's pretty much gonna be Kyrie versus Trey. That's pretty much everyone's gonna be watching, and also we already know they're gonna do great things. Trey is one of the young stars in the league. Kyrie is one of the savvy vets. So it's probably going to come down to that second star on each team. I mean, we know KD's going to do his thing, and we got to see who's going to step up for Atlanta. And
John Collins.
Yep, John Collins. It could be Danilo Gallinari. It could be Bogdan. So if the Hawks want to win this game, they're going to need a second star to rise up and try to score as close to KD because we know not a lot of people can outscore him. But
let's go Kevin Huerter for my fantasy team.
Yeah, last year, no duo scored more points on the pick and roll than John Collins and Trae Young.
John Collins have a monster game.
Yeah.
But I got Brooklyn winning by, let's say, 12.
All of us, Brooklyn.
Yep, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah. And then up next we have the Battle of Texas. We got the Mavericks versus the Rockets.
Oh boy, you boys watched that Houston game against Trailblazers the other night? That went to overtime. Anybody watch
Yes, I
that game?
did.
I watched.
Yes, I did.
I watched. late-
So
late
Houston
fourth.
Houston did that with the G League squad pretty much.
Yeah.
John Wall out, DeMarcus Cousins out, and they went in there with a bunch of rookies and unproven players and took Trailblazers with two of the best players in the league into the overtime. So I like Houston a lot. I like Houston a lot more if John Wall was healthy, and I like Houston even more if James Harden would stop talking about getting traded all the time. I think for the first time in James Harden's career, he has a super athletic center that he can play ball with, like literally one-on-one. He can play with him and just do whatever. He can toss oops. He can pick and roll with them. It's crazy. Christian Wood is a monster, but Harden doesn't like it. I don't know what's going on with that man. He wants to go to Vegas. He wants to go to strip clubs, whatever he wants to do. Plus, John Wall will give him the ball. That's another thing. It's not Russell anymore. So I wish James Harden would get his shit together. But I'll go Houston here. I think Dallas. I think the Mavs are good, but without Kristaps, it's tough to find a second scorer on that team. They got Jason. Who is it, Phil? Jason. He came from Philadelphia.
Josh Richardson.
Josh Richardson. Yep. He's a good scorer as well, but he's got a calf strain, so
Yeah.
you know he's iffy. But yeah, I'll go Houston here. So let's go.
I'm gonna go with Dallas because I like Luka. Luka is gonna be really good in this league. I feel like. And do y'all feel like he's gonna be the face of the league when Braun is done, or no?
I feel like he'll be one of the faces.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like when LeBron's done, it's gonna be a conglomerate.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like when Mike left until LeBron got into the league. Like there was no clear cut guy. It was like everyone loved AI, everyone liked Kobe, everyone liked Shaq, but it wasn't like you thought NBA, you thought this guy. Like now you think NBA, you think Bron. But
Right.
when Bron's gone, I think it's gonna be like AD, Giannis, Luka, the next
A
generation.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, AD for a little bit, but he's gonna be getting older too.
Same as Kevin Durant for a little bit, but he's
Right.
as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Who you got for Dallas and Houston?
I'm gonna go with Houston because just like Neil said, Dallas, I don't think they have enough star power after Luka. I think that Luka's more than capable of holding his own, but with no Kristaps and with Richardson being banged up, I'm not relying on Richardson and Hardaway Jr. to be the second guy to win a game for me.
Oh, I forgot about Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, I completely agree with you guys because originally I wanted the Mavericks, pick the Mavericks as upset, but they just don't have enough weapons to compete with Harden, Wall, Wood, Cousins, and everyone else. So I'm gonna have to go with Houston as well.
Is John Wall back? Do we know?
I think he's been playing.
Is he? I don't know. Has he been playing?
He should be back.
We gotta find out. Let's find out.
Let's double check that.
Nah, he's expected to make his debut Thursday,
Thursday.
and
So
his
it's
game
tomorrow.
that he plays against Thursday is
Should be Dallas.
Yeah, I think it is.
No, they play Sacramento on
Sacramento.
Thursday.
Oh, so because they play later on in the week, so he probably will be healthy to play that game.
yeah. So they play Dallas on the 4th, and he'll be playing in that game unless he rests or something crazy.
Mhm.
Right, watch with our luck, they're all gonna load manage in every game we pick.
Right.
Pretty much. And then up next we got the battle of the bigs, Minnesota versus Denver. We got Cat versus Jokic.
Woo!
That matchup.
I'm going with the Joker.
Well, we don't have Cat. Cat's out, dislocated his wrist.
Oh, I did not.
Denver.
So yeah, you got the battle of the bigs. You got Naz Reid against Nikola Jokic.
Oh, well, we know who's going with that one then.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah,
I got Denver.
Definitely Denver.
Jamal Murray's hurt, but Monte Morris is no slouch at backup point guard. The man can ball. Plus, they got weapons all around. I mean, even Paul Millsap in his old age, he can still hoop. Gary Harris, Will Barton, Will the Thrill.
They still got Beasley there or no?
Malik Beasley?
No, he's on.
He's on Minnesota.
Minnesota.
He's on Minnesota.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's playing with a gun charge. Like no joke, he's got a felony gun charge on him right now.
And he's got Scottie Pippen's ex-wife in his back pocket, but that's a different story.
Yeah, that man is.
Whoa. I think I saw that. I think I saw
Yeah.
that story. He's in their DMs or something like that.
Yeah,
No.
And post, too.
They're
Like
out
public
together.
post, like
Yeah.
comment.
They're
Yeah.
what?
They went out together and shit. Like he posted a picture. There were pictures posted of them together, and then his wife filed for divorce.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
his wife was bad too. Like no
Lawrence is like
no
what?
disrespect, but she was bad.
The disrespect, no disrespect. He said no disrespect, but that's all disrespect.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yo,
Malik
nah.
Beasley, that man is a problem. Like in all aspects, he's a problem. He's a problem on the court. He's a problem on the streets. He's a problem
in your relationship.
He's a problem in the exactly.
Bro, what?
So that man is a problem. But yeah, I mean, going back to the game, Denver. I mean, D'Angelo Russell can only do so much,
right?
So I go Denver here. I'm looking for a triple double from Jokic too. By the way,
I should have drafted him.
Yeah, he's good.
I should have drafted him.
A couple of flashy passes here and there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go agree with nailing that pick since the cat's out. It's just pretty much going to be the Jokic show, and D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards. They can all only do so much, but yeah, I expected Jokic to have a field day in this game, maybe like a 20, 15, 12 type of game, or maybe even better. So yeah, I got Denver dominating. And then after that game, we have a Eastern Conference Finals rematch. We have Boston versus Miami. I had to pick
Miami in a landslide.
Whoa!
Nah. I'm gonna say Boston. I really like Boston. More particularly Tatum. Tatum is probably one of my favorite players to watch. He gets in his bag when he plays. He's a beast. So
Tatum is so smooth. Like he makes it look so easy. Like you shouldn't be that big and be able to do as many things as he does. It's just not fair. Yeah. I want to pick Miami just because like I really despise all things Boston sports. Like I really do. But I'm gonna go Boston just because it's not feasible for me to pick against them. Tatum is too much. I like Jaylen Brown. And even without Kemba, I still think they're good enough to win this game. Miami's coming off that big loss too.
But it is feasible though. That's the thing. It is feasible to pick against them here, especially if Jimmy Butler's hurt right now. He's got an ankle, but he should be good because they don't play till January 4th, so they got some time. I like Miami here. I do like Miami here. They match up really well with the Celtics. Bam can lock down Tatum, and if he can't do it, which is not easy to do, Tatum can score, no doubt. If Bam can't do it, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think Bam is the X factor in this game though, because the Celtics don't have the big to compete.
Right.
That's where it's like you're gonna need Tatum and Brown have to have a good game. Like you can't have an off game because you have to offset for what Bam's gonna do to you.
Right, and then you got the dynamic duo. You got Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. So this is all threes all day. And
Duncan Robinson, he's disrespectful. He be pulling up from everywhere. I was watching that game the other night, bro. I was like, wow.
There's not many people in the league anymore that you can say have ratchets. Those two guys got ratchets.
And it's just I always get iffy though when you have to rely on teams to rely on 3-point shooting because it's so up in the air. Like we saw the other night when they got smashed by the Bucks. Like the Bucks made 29 threes. That's not going to happen again. Like and then Miami couldn't find a three.
Ever since the Warriors did it, man.
You're right. Right, because you're shooting so many more now too. Right. Is the thing.
Yeah, the whole NBA has changed.
Warriors said, "Live by the 3, die by the 3." All right, we're gonna live by that.
Say less.
For 5 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with Boston, just because. I mean, I just got a notification. Jaylen Brown just dropped 42 on the Grizzlies. So, like Lawrence mentioned, if Boston's gonna win, they're gonna need great games from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which, as so far this season, is a pretty feasible thing. So, and then like Kenny mentioned, Bam Adebayo is going to be the X factor because the Celtics have some weaknesses, even though they've been pretty decent this season. And one of them is defense against a big man, rebounding against a big man. They've been having trouble getting rebounds. Also, if the way the Heat win this game is their bench scoring, because Boston's also another weakness of theirs is bench scoring. They haven't had a lot of good bench scoring last year or the last couple of years, but I do see Boston squeaking out a very close game. I have them winning by 5.
If Brown and Tatum can combine for 50 plus, they win the game.
That's true.
For sure.
And then going from there, speaking of the Warriors shooting threes, we also have the lone warrior, Steph Curry. He is currently fighting for his life at the moment.
Come here, boy.
Clay's
I've been waiting
injured.
for this.
Clay's out for the
Been
season.
waiting.
Yep, Clay's out for the season. Draymond Green's injured here and there. No KD. And we have to ask the tough question here. Does Steph Curry get a pass for everything?
No.
No, no,
No.
no,
Yep.
no. Because he's not playing with bona fide scrubs. He's playing with Andrew Wiggins, who is not the superstar that they built him as coming in. I'll give you that. But he's still a very good basketball player. Kelly Oubre is still a very good basketball player. James Wiseman is young, so I'm not even going to throw him in there. But he's been playing like a very good basketball player.
Go pick Lawrence.
Right. But it's just you got guys like Russ played with nobodies in Oklahoma City for that year and got them to the playoffs because he averaged a triple-double to get him there. You have guys like James Harden in Houston before didn't have another star with him. And he was winning out there. The list you can think I can name LeBron, LeBron's LeBron, but LeBron does it and did it in Cleveland all those years. So I'm not giving Steph Curry a pass when he has guys on his team to help him.
It just unanimous MVP, boys.
Exactly. He's unanimous MVP that during that run, people want to say he was better than LeBron James.
Best player in the world.
He was the best player in the world. Now that he has to be the guy, like Steph, he's a great player, but he's great when he has greatness around him. Don't ask him to carry your franchise because he can't do it.
Yeah,
he tried to do it.
Right.
He tried to do this
moment
when they had the ESPN announcer.
Mark Jackson.
They had Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
They had young Klay Thompson, who really wasn't a splash bro at the time. They had a young Draymond Green. They had a Iggy in his prime, and it was really Andrew Bogut and prime David Lee, and that was the team.
Mark Jackson deserves a lot of credit also.
Mark Jackson should have rings. Mark Jackson
should have a job.
Technically.
I don't think he wants a job to coach, but
no, I don't think so anymore.
But yeah, Steph Curry
with all due respect,
Steph Curry gets no pass from me. I've hated Steph Curry for years. I still hate Steph Curry.
I don't hate him.
I promise you to this day, if Steph Curry ever sees me, I will beat the shit out of Steph Curry.
The man is like 6'3", 6'4". You're gonna be like, first off, you're lying because you're gonna be starstruck for one.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not starstruck over him. He's a pussy. Fuck him. Let's go.
Listen,
Steph Curry.
I used to like Steph Curry, like when the Warriors like first got on the road. I actually liked all the Warriors, but then for some reason they got
cocky,
super ignorant and cocky, like the world was against them, and like bro, everyone was rooting for you, and you beat a beat up Cavaliers team at that. And then you went 73-9, and people were still rooting for you. But you guys wanted to play this role of the villain, like everyone hates you.
And then 3-1. We're not gonna go past like that 3-1.
That's what I'm saying. And then you blew the 3-1. Like, so I'm just confused. Like, you guys turned yourselves into the villain, and then got upset like that people saw you as a villain.
Right.
Like you did it to yourself. We all loved you.
Yep. I think it's just funny to see this. Because this is, like I said in the chat before, and I said it last week, it shows the greatness of LeBron. We're going to bring LeBron in this because he would not get a single pass. He would be getting stepped on and crushed right now. It'd be like, oh, look at this. His legacy doesn't mean anything anymore. People will probably be questioning his 4 rings at this point.
100%.
They still trash LeBron for when he was 23 years old, and his second best player was Larry Hughes, and he went to the finals and lost to Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. Like people still they blame LeBron for that one, but we're gonna tell me, but they still want to say that Steph Curry gets a pass.
LeBron James, Antoine Jameson.
No, Antoine Jameson wasn't even there yet. Larry Hughes was the second best player, and then it was Big Z. Exactly.
And the crazy thing is, they won like what? Didn't the Spurs in the 9 years they won like 4 titles or something crazy?
Yeah, that's like it's just I'm mind blown. He lost to a dynasty, but got them there. He beat a dynasty to get there. The Pistons were a dynasty in the East before LeBron took them down. LeBron took them down single-handedly, and then people, he lost to the Spurs in the finals that year. Are you crazy? And then the same people are telling me, well, Steph Curry don't have enough help this year. Oh, okay.
Oh, like my thing is, if he did not win those 2 unanimous MVPs, I would have more sympathy for him. But y'all said that he was outright the best player in the league, most valuable on a team full of future Hall of Famers. and he was the best unanimous player that nobody else deserved the award. That's my problem.
Yeah, once he got those awards, it's pretty much.
No.
I mean, he's regarded as one of the best, probably the best shooter of all time. You got to have the criticism that comes with it. LeBron's one of the best. He gets criticism. KD, you have to. He's launched himself into getting criticism as seen as one of the best. So he doesn't get a pass from me either because you're touted as one of the best shooters, and you guys obviously have to have criticism as one of the best shooters, whether it's good or bad. So it's just,
I was watching what game they got blown out by it was Christmas Day. I was watching the Bucks game.
Yeah.
I had I made like a $5 bet or something. And I'm watching the game and he's barely out there. Like he's barely playing, like he's on the bench. I'm like, all right, where's Curry at? Like I'm looking for him and I'm like looking for him and there's a second quarter. He comes in for 6 minutes, sits down. Third quarter comes, he plays for 8 minutes, sits down. Like, I don't get it. And then they get to the end of the season and they're going to win 20 games. And then it's going to be the same shit every week. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't get it.
His game is not designed to be.
No, he can't be by himself.
The only threat. Exactly. Because when you have to guard multiple other people, like
you get open shots.
You fucked. Exactly. But when I can just throw 2 guys on you and say that's what they're going to do.
Let Kelly Oubre.
Tsunami.
Oubre is having an
abysmal.
I picked him too. I'm mad.
Abysmal year to start.
I don't know if you guys saw the graphic in the chat. It was like Wiggins and Oubre.
Bricklayers or whatever.
Yeah. Tossing up bricks.
I mean, that doesn't help Curry's case or anyone's case, but they still are like decent enough to at least.
They would never do that for Braun.
Never.
Imagine.
They would say they'd be like, Braun, it's your fault that they're 0 for 16.
You know what they would say? Well, Andrew Wiggins was the number 1 overall pick, so even though he hasn't lived up to the potential, just because he was a number 1 overall pick, well, LeBron's playing with him, so he's got to be great.
No, that's hilarious, bro.
But now, if I use that excuse when I'm talking about Steph Curry, they'll say, "Well, he was picked number 1, but he's not actually that good." Like they'll find every excuse for him.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of excuses for everyone, pretty much.
So speaking of high expectations, low expectations, what y'all think about LaMelo right now?
It's to be expected, I think.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I don't think he was built to come in to be a scorer immediately. Anyways, like even all of his scouting, the scouting said his scoring was left some to be desired because he had to get better slot selection, but he was going to be a great pure point guard.
Yeah,
it's early.
He's young, man. He's so young.
Like I don't like some of the fans that watch this, just watch sports. They want these people to be Hall of Famers as soon as they step.
Not in the NBA. There. And think about it. He didn't play. I said this before when we were talking about getting drafted. Yes, I know he played in very competitive overseas leagues, but it's not the same as going Division I. It's not.
No, it's not. I'll give you that.
And not only if the year that he would have went Division I, it would be the year he would have been playing against other lottery draft picks.
And I think he would have probably, if he went, well, he probably couldn't do that anymore because he's paid. But if he said
they claimed he was eligible somehow.
Yeah, if he was to go back to college, I feel like he would have killed. He would have killed in college.
Because without a doubt,
he would have been more prepared for it compared to somebody coming straight out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, I always prefer my players coming out of college at least 2 years in college, so that way they get a good feel for the game.
Because you're gonna be playing against the same people,
right?
Well, it's like I said last week too with these kids. Like they come out at 18, 19 years old, and people expect them to be studs immediately. That doesn't happen anymore. Like if a kid's been in college for 4 years, I use the example of Kuzma and Tatum because they were in the same draft class. And Kuzma was a 4-year player at Utah, and Jason Tatum was a 1-year player at Duke. Obviously, we all knew Jason Tatum had the higher upside, but coming out that first year, Kuzma looked like he was going to be the better player because he was in a program for 4 years, got his body right, and was older. Now, Tatum's going into his 3rd, 4th season, and he looks like the better player, but that's what happens. These young guys come in the league, and they need 3 years to really pop. You can't expect them to step in day one.
Yeah, especially, I mean, like, I don't know, his game doesn't really translate yet in the NBA. It will. He is he definitely. I mean, he reminds me a lot of like a Darren Williams almost, like when Darren Williams in his prime. he can score. He can score the shit out of the ball, but he can also dime too. So he's going to be fun to watch. You got to take some time to acclimate to the league. It's different. You're playing games every like four times a week. It's different. So
I basically see it as one of the problems with the media, because you saw him in preseason. He was doing decent in preseason. Almost every sports media outlet was hyping him up. And now, as soon as he has like a not a good start to the beginning of the regular season, you see almost every social media saying, "Oh, he's gonna be just like his brother. He's not gonna live up to the hype." The only one that believes him is LeVar. So we see a lot of negativity as of right now, even though he's just starting his career.
And another thing to mention. Sorry, Kenny. Another thing to mention is he's playing in a front court that is completely stacked.
It's loaded.
Yeah, it's crowded.
Completely stacked. He's got Devontae Graham. He's got Terry Rozier. Right there, right off the bat.
I don't my thing is, why did they draft him?
Because they said the Hornets viewed this as a 3-player draft. It was Edwards, Wiseman, and LaMelo Ball. They had the 3rd pick, and Edwards and Wiseman went. So they said there's nobody else in this draft worth drafting. That's how bad that. I mean, I thought it was a decently deep draft, but at number 3, I guess they said there was nobody worth taking other than one of those 3.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a bad pick at all.
No, it's not at all.
Especially with, I mean, you could look at it with that team. You could think of them, Rozier or Graham being trade targets as well before the trade deadline. So you never know. I mean, if they want him to shine, you got to give him a little star to shine. You give him a spotlight for a little bit. But so we'll see.
I just wanted. Like Phil was saying, people they said, "Oh, he's going to be a bust like his brother," and I'm so tired of people telling me that Lonzo's a bust.
Lonzo Ball is not a bust.
Like I'm so over the. And I know you weren't saying it, Phil, but just people. I'm so over it.
Yeah.
They just don't like his father. That's why.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's literally the only reason they want to find reasons. Just like he was another one. He was thrown into an impossible situation. Drafted to LA number 2 overall, and his dad hyped him up so much. Everyone said he was going to be so great. He was 19 years old, and you gave him the keys to a franchise that was in shambles. What did you think was going to happen?
And actually, now I'm so glad you brought that up, because shout out to Lonzo Ball, man. Honestly, with everything going on around that guy, how quiet has he been? Quiet as a mouse, right? Like, you don't see anything from him. No bad demeanor on the court. Never hangs his head. Never gets in trouble or anything like that. Never does any stupid shit. Like, the kid is so sound. And he's a great basketball player.
And they didn't extend him before the season started. You didn't hear him bitch or complain about it. Like, exactly. He just goes out there. I'm going to do my job, and guess what? I'll sign a contract at the end of the year.
Right. And he's going to get paid.
Yes, he is. It might not be from New Orleans.
Right.
Somebody is going to pay that man, because Lonzo Ball, his game translates to the NBA. Just he needs somebody to believe in him.
He's a walking triple-double.
I still think that shit's in the works where they get together. Like, it's a lining up.
Trade target, man. Listen, trade target. New Orleans and Charlotte. You never know.
They probably would have signed LaAngelo by now. Wait, it depends how healthy LaAngelo is at the moment, because he got cut from the Pistons because he wasn't healthy, right?
They never had any chance.
No, they bumped him down.
Yeah, no. What happened? Well, they signed him to like that Exhibit 10 contract, which is a non-guaranteed contract, which is it's almost like a 2-way contract, except they can pay you more money on it. So the whole time was to put him on the G League team, but pay him as much money as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible for that dream to work out at the end of the season, but maybe not now, because I don't think the Charlotte Hornets has like a reason to trade for Lonzo at the moment, because they have 3 decent point guards, unless they trade one of their point guards away. But it's still a possible deal at the end of in the offseason for those 3 to get together.
Definitely. I like Rozier too.
Rozier's tough,
especially when he was in Boston.
Boston should never let go of him, man. Never.
Yeah. He's a dog.
Another example of a guy who was in college for multiple years, went late in the draft because of it, and came in, was an instant impact player. Devontae Graham, same thing. See, you guys want instant impact players? You got to draft older guys. It's the only way around.
I would give it a backup point guard. But
Syracuse. If Syracuse could hold players for more than 1 year, they might be able to do something.
Q's players be like, I'm out of here.
Listen, Q's got murdered with sanctions, and you know it, Neil. We're finally coming off of sanctions.
About time.
Wait, from when?
We've been on sanctions since I was a sophomore in college. Yeah, this is our first year without sanctions.
Boeheim, they wanted to take all those wins away from Boeheim and everything.
Yeah, because Fab Melo, who didn't speak English, had a tutor who helped him translate a paper.
Yeah.
No, he had to write a paper about like his life or whatever, and he needed help translating it. So his tutor helped him translate it, and they said that was illegal.
Who's now dead, by the way, Fab Melo.
Yes, he is.
Former Celtics.
Yeah, he was a Celtic too. That's right. Screwed us out of a championship that year, right, Kenny?
Absolutely. There's no chance they win it. They barely lost to Zaire Sullinger, Ohio State. Don't get me started.
Kenny, we'll talk. We'll talk. Don't worry, because I'm
I'm
on the same wavelength as you. We'll talk. What do we got, Phil?
So up next we have we'll just talk about the recent blowouts that happened to the Clippers, and just so you know, so we don't get any hate for being Clippers biased, the Heat also got blown out. Just a heads up, they got
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
We're not doing what?
We talking right to the Clippers. The
Oh,
Clippers
okay.
fans, y'all stupid.
Hey, lead it. You got to learn.
So y'all remember,
LeBron James in 2.
so y'all remember when the Clippers won the opening night?
Right.
And we gave them the championship. Remember?
Right. And listen, none of them
championship. Oh,
none of them were to be found when they were getting swept
right.
77-27.
No, they were to be found, but they all kept saying, "Oh, y'all want to talk, but y'all don't want to say nothing when this. Oh, it's just one game. It's just one." But it
that's
wasn't
what they
just
were
one
saying,
game on
one
opening
game.
night.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
There wasn't just one game opening night.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you lose by 15. It's
No.
just one game.
Right.
Oh, well, we didn't have Kawhi. Oh, Kawhi was going to score 51. Kawhi was going to make up the difference. Oh, okay. No, stop.
He would have had it flowing better. That's what Kawhi would have
He would have played defense.
Listen,
Yeah.
that team was sketchy coming in this season, by the way. That
Yeah.
team was
Bro,
always sketchy. They
listen.
have two players besides Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I'm not trusting anybody else on that team.
No, not at all.
I mean, Lou Will is designated. He's
For
goated.
wing, that's
He's a bucket. He's a bucket.
Yeah, Lou Will's goated. But besides that, that's it. Name somebody else on that. Can anybody name besides Zubac? Can anybody name another player on the team?
Kennard, because I got him on my
Oh
team.
yeah, because you drafted Kennard.
Serge Ibaka is.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they got Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, but Serge
Guess what?
Ibaka
Don't
knocking the
do
best
nothing.
player out. He
Yeah.
elbowed Kawhi right in the face.
Ron Artest knocked out
Right.
James Harden.
Yeah, but this was on the same team.
Yeah, that was in the same.
That was not on the same team.
I mean, personally, I'm not trying to hear none of those until it actually happens. They get into the Western Conference Finals and they go and beat Braun. We all know if that happens, I swear, I will put $1,000 on the Lakers if they match up, and I'm gonna win my money.
No, you won't.
Yes, I would. I will put money on the Lakers if that happens. If that clip it.
Somebody clip it.
I'll put $1,000 on the Lakers if the Clippers match up with them in the conference finals.
Here's the thing. I don't think the Clippers even get that far, though.
They don't get that far. That's what I'm saying.
Second round curse.
That's one team I think personally. I think the Clippers you'll see make moves at the trade deadline.
Negative.
They have to. Right.
Somebody's
Right.
gonna get moved.
As constructed right now, there's no way they get to the conference finals.
No way.
It's just they are
LeBron
not
too.
good enough, and I'm not hearing that whole nonsense of it was one game and why aren't we talking about the Heat losing?
Nah.
And here's the difference too: the Heat lost to the Bucks, who were just they were the Bucks, they're the best team in the West. You lost to the Mavericks, who Bron just beat by 20 on Christmas.
Right.
No snaps either.
And with no Chris Stapps.
Right.
Yeah.
So which one is bigger? You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
it really like it's.
I mean,
And-
exactly like what you said, Kenny. I mean, when you compare the teams on paper, the Bucks are supposed to win that game. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Not
The Bucks-
by 47, but
No,
they're
I know.
but they are supposed to win, like you said.
Exactly.
So-
But then you look at that Clippers game. No Kawhi. So what? Paul George got paid. You still
Paul
got
George, Beverly, all of them.
Yeah, exactly. So do something with yourselves.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to make moves at the trade deadline. I don't know what they move because there's not much there. I don't know if they have assets. I don't know. Yeah, they got to have draft picks, so they better start moving something.
My man Nick Wright said it best. They only re-signed Paul Pierce so that they can say they have an asset because they had no assets on their team. So
Paul
now
George?
Paul Pierce is, my bad, Paul George, my bad.
Okay.
It's Paul George. They only signed him to make it so that they would have an asset beyond next season. So when they have to put someone in a trade, Paul George is locked into a 4-year deal.
Yeah,
we can trade you him.
Come play or come play with Paul George.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna come play with? Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much that, obviously high expectations for the Clippers yet again. And there's pretty much, you can say anything, but there's really no excuse for getting blown up by 50.
No excuse.
No excuse at
It
all.
was 50 at halftime, wasn't it?
It was
It
51.
was 77-27.
Oh, 50, yeah.
Halftime, bro.
And
It
someone
was
said,
clipping them.
and I think someone tweeted it or something. The the Mavericks could have not scored at all and after halftime, and they still would have won the game.
Wow.
Because I think the final score 73. So if they did,
Oh my God,
It was 124 to 73.
it would have been 77-73 at the end of the game.
that's a disgrace.
And
The Mavs could have taken a 24-second shot clock violation every possession and still won the game.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pathetic. That also shows your team has no heart. Because if you're down 50 at halftime, you should not lose the game by 50. You should go on some sort of run. Like, where's your leader in the huddle to say, like, okay, we're going to lose this game, but I damn sure I'm not losing by 50 tonight.
Yeah,
there was no leader.
That's a problem with the Clippers. They don't have a true leader.
They don't have a leader.
Kawhi has never been shown to be a leader at times.
No, Paul George or Kawhi cannot be. He's not a vocal player. He doesn't talk.
No, he's not. Everyone talked about Pop when Pop said, oh, he's not a leader, and then Kawhi won the championship. Well, Pop was right. Kawhi is not a leader. It's a known thing. He's just not.
Yeah, for Toronto, it was mostly Kyle Lowry. Young.
Well, Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is a great coach. We know that now.
Yep.
See it,
Paul George apparently he's not a leader because he let them go out there and get mollywopped like that.
A wash.
Pandemic P.
I'm gonna definitely watch him. Paul George is disappointing me. I was a fan of him. He needs to take Kyrie's advice and take those fines for not talking to the media anymore because he sounds stupid every time he gets there.
Yeah, here's the difference though. Paul Pierce does voluntary podcast interviews. Kyrie doesn't want to talk to people when he has to. So Paul George, you are stupid.
Stop talking about Paul Pierce.
I can't help it. They're both Paul. They both played in LA.
Y'all stupid. All right, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all got any last words for the NBA fans out there?
Great season, man. We're in for a great season. I can tell. Great season.
I got money in this NBA shit. Didn't think I'd ever be doing this, so now I gotta watch these goddamn games.
Oh yeah, we're gonna split.
I'm over here looking at my Yahoo app. I don't know what's going on.
Start active players. Turn it off.
Y'all know what I do? I look at the app. I slide over to points. If somebody in 20 plus, I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm not looking out. I'm not even looking at no other.
You ain't looking at the other stats.
like fancy points is all I need.
He got over 20. All right, so I got a chance.
Yeah,
I got a chance. But all right, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Any feedback, leave it in the comments. Make sure you follow on all platforms at IBTE Network. And go follow these guys. Get in their DMs. And tell Phil that the Celtics ain't shit. Tell Kenny Kenny, what's your team now?
Well, I'm still a Thunder guy. I just ride with Bron, and I know what to use.
Tell him LeBron's overrated.
Tell him
what?
LeBron's overrated.
Huh?
Bron overrated?
Say it if
what?
you want.
Never.
Say it if
but
you
like
want.
I said, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you later.
Peace.